All right. Crossroads Sports. I'm your host, Brandon Reef. Joined as always by my man, Jonathan Birdsong, JB, Colts Nation in the background there. I got the Pacers
Absolutely.
LED over here going, the blue and the yellow tonight. JB, how you been, buddy? It's been a couple weeks.
It feel like a month, right? So yeah, happy holidays. Crossroads Sports is back. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Kwanzaa, all those things, man. I know I'm forgetting something, man. I don't want to leave out Happy Hanukkah either, but like, nah, man, it's good to be back, man. Connecting with the family, you know what I'm saying? All you know what I'm saying, and all this weekend, pretty much, man. I was in a food coma yesterday. I'm saying, ate a lot of ham, ate a lot of, I'm saying, green beans, sweet potato pie, all those things, man. Pineapple cider out cake. I still got some leftovers. So like, man, it was real good, you know what I'm saying? And then also, what I'm saying, looking at sports, you know what I'm saying, not necessarily what I'm saying, watching it but like you're not necessarily like really deep down like analytically watching, but like kind of watching from a fan standpoint. It was kind of like how I kind of looked at some of the sporting events that kind of transpired over the weekend. I know we've had some bowl games. I know we've had, what I'm saying, some Colts and Steelers games that we got to kind of address, man. As well as some other NFL stuff, so too, man. But like, just give us the official rundown of what we kind of talking about tonight, Brandon. Like I said,
Yeah.
I had a great holiday, except for the day I had a little fender bender. But you know what I'm saying. But like, other than that, man, yeah. How was yours?
It was good, man. It started. I've been on a vacation for about 16 days now. But no, it
Hmm.
was good. Me and the went to the Steelers Colts game. Saw a disgusting performance by my Steelers in that game, and then we ended up heading out to Nashville, Tennessee for a week. So spent a week downtown Nashville. Did everything possible you could possibly do in Nashville. My liver is still recovering from that trip.
I got
Um, but yeah, we got back and then family Christmases all over, so it felt like we were running everywhere. And then yeah, it's kind of calming down now, and I go
you.
back to work tomorrow. So the fun is over. But no, overall it was perfect. It was good. Good to get away. Get to recharge the batteries a little bit. Watched a little bit of sports. Went to a hockey game. Got to see the Predators play the
Uh-oh,
Canucks. So
big
the
time.
wife didn't realize the hockey how cold it was in her seat, so we had to buy a
Oh,
$44 Nashville Predators blanket now that we have here at the household. So
there you go.
um, yeah, we have that. But no, big rundown tonight, John. We've got NFL. We've got NFL to talk. Plenty of our games, Colts, Steelers games. We had the NFC and AFC playoff picture we're going to look at. Some just news and notes from around the league I have, John. I want to talk Jaguars. I want to talk Chiefs, the Dallas 49ers, Eagles, and Lions craziness that's going on.
Dallas.
I've got a hot take. I've got a big hot take that I haven't put on Twitter yet because I know the
Save
blasting
your hot
will
take.
come, but I'm gonna save it for on here because this is also streaming on there. So we'll
There you
have
go.
that. We got Pacers talks. Um, I've got a little bit of a call out as well. I think you do as well, but I've got a call out for KD. Um,
Kevin Durant. You gotta call out for Kevin Durant.
yeah, I'm gonna call out Kevin
I probably
Durant a
got to
little bit.
call out for the. This is probably why we're not on Blog Talk tonight. But I got to call out for the Florida State, man. I'm disappointed. They're suing the ACC. Like that's
Yeah,
you
you're
suing the
calling.
people that's trying to help you. So yeah, man, I got a couple call outs. I got receipts. As John Moran said, I got receipts.
Yeah, obviously college football. We're going to talk college football, like John said. Florida State bull pick'em. Tanner's going to be joining us around, I think, 8 o'clock. I've asked him 8 o'clock if he could join us. We'll do our college pick'em for some bowl games,
Hmm.
and then yeah, well, that's kind of what we got for tonight's show. About hour and a half long. Um, I'm still. I'm off my rant, but on the fact
Oh,
that the Dodgers just keep spending money like crazy, and
wait a minute, Brandon.
three
Like,
players, man, $1 billion payroll
and
for three players.
well, I know. Well, hey, they ship. They got my guy. They forming their own ventures out there in LA town. But hey man. So like you said, like we've been gone for like 2 weeks or so. And I feel like in that time span, I don't know if we want to start on football, basketball, but I'm just kind of because like a lot of people in Pittsburgh town, they owe Coach Mike Tomlin an apology, man, because he said he went up there on that podium and said a whole lot of things. Man, a lot of people was like, man, it's kind of in one ear out the other, and man, like, no,
Yeah.
he got his team's attention, man. So what did you think? I know they laid an egg against the coach, man, but like, what did you think of the Pittsburgh? Um, You know what I'm saying, and especially Pickens.
Well, I'll start with this. Um, obviously laid an egg in the second half against the Colts. No adjustments. George Pickens didn't block for Jalen Warren. That started that whole fiasco. And
Right.
then the interception where he was running complete opposite way. And then he goes about, lies about it. And then the Mike Tomlin says, I spoke to him. We spoke last week in a meeting. And then Pickens says, no, we didn't talk at all. We didn't. I don't. So in one ear, out the other.
That's where he got
Um,
that from. Yeah.
yeah. So Pickens acting like an idiot at that point. They played the Bengals. They whooped on the Bengals on the 23rd on Saturday. My thoughts with this: okay, they beat the Bengals. The Bengals aren't a good team overall. They're not. They got Jake Browning, who's a quarterback. This is the second time that the Steelers have faced him. Most everybody only plays him once since he's been here, so they've been able to adjust with that defense. Steelers had to call up some guys for some injuries, but Cincinnati also doesn't have a secondary. Their secondary is depleted, just as much. And having a quarterback like Mason Rudolph come in there where Cincinnati really couldn't prepare. There was no tape for them to prepare on except for years ago.
Right.
Uh, you
Yes,
know, Pickens got the slant for the touchdown on the second play to shut everybody up. John, there's still a lot of glowing issues with this team.
absolutely.
A lot. I don't think a game like this says, okay, Mike, you're off the hook. I don't think it
Well,
does.
you gotta like his reaction to with at least the team's reaction. And it's a division, and it's a divisional win. I get it.
One game.
You want to wipe your boots on the Cincinnati Bengals
One game,
season
man.
right now.
One win doesn't make up for 3 straight losses that you shouldn't have lost, right? Especially Arizona and New England. Those are 0 excuses. So if it takes you 4 games to get your team prepared for one to play, that's a problem. Another thing is this team has, like I said, John, the team hasn't won a playoff game since 2016. I'm not saying to fire the man, but there needs to be some
I want to be
change.
clear. Yeah, Brandon Reeve has not said fire this. He said he just wants some things changed offense.
Or
And
at least
I think Mike Tomlin has said that. He said we got to score more points. Like, look, what do we do?
see what
He
the
said we ain't
value is
playing
for him.
1978 football.
Yeah, I said see what the value is for him maybe on the trade market. You can always see what somebody's trade value is.
Well,
Does the team
I
really
seen
want him
that
that
too.
bad?
They got him tied. Like, of course they would want him anywhere. Chicago, of course, would want him. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? I don't, because who knows what's going on over there. I don't necessarily see Mike Tomlin, you know what I'm saying, finding his way down in Dallas or anything like that. It might imagine that. Imagine, you know, Mike Tomlin and Jerry Jones and Dak Prescott pissing down his leg. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But, you know what I'm saying? Like what they could get. But
Or
like
even Carolina.
I don't say. You said who?
Even Carolina would take him for sure.
Yeah, there's somebody who would take him, but I don't think that's the way they get out of this. I think like they got two more games.
Seattle
Um,
and Baltimore, last 2. Both of them
you
are
know they
road games.
well, you know they play Baltimore tough every time.
They do. There's a chance that Pickett would be back this weekend in Seattle. Man,
It's up
I,
and
I
down.
don't
You don't know what Seattle team you're gonna get.
I
You know
don't
what I'm saying?
know. But
Depending upon whatever quarterback's gonna be ready, you don't know.
I think if they won, it's a good kumbaya moment for the week. But like I said, there's a lot of red flags on this team that they got to do
Ooh, I
to
don't know,
show up.
Brandon Reeve. If they beat Seattle convincingly, and I mean by convincingly, I'm saying like 8 points or so, man, you're gonna be feeling real good going into that last game against the Ravens. And I get it that the Ravens are ascending, and if you, this we can't still just put like if you look at the numbers, you
Only if
can't
the
just
Ravens beat the Dolphins,
well that
because
too.
if that happens, the Ravens have clinched the 1 seed, and at that point, they don't need to play
Well,
their starters week 18. But here's the thing, John. I'd rather not go to the playoffs. I don't want to go and have to play
oh man,
Miami or
and
Kansas
get
City
zipped.
or whoever and just get zipped up like we've done the last 2 times we've been in the playoffs. We
You
got
think
zipped
like a
up
fan.
twice.
Thinking like you think like a fan, think like the coaches in that locker room, and think like the players on that field. You want to get that playoff check. You want to go out there and say he makes the playoff. But I get what you're saying, man, because there's a difference between whether you be picking if you're not in the playoffs versus whether you pick. And this team, I think that's what it is, man. You can throw and say this is it's Pickens' fault or it's the lack of the quarterback play not being there, like the starter that not being there 100%. But like, man, realistically, man, again, I said it a couple of episodes ago, man, they just got to address some of the younger pieces of their offensive line. They gotta figure because you got to get the running game to complement the quarterback play. And that's Pittsburgh Steelers football, right? So and I'll probably if you, I don't want to be too disrespectful, man. They probably need to address, you know, like everybody else, like the coach do too, right? Tight end. You know what I mean? So, I just think they just got it. Some pieces they kind of need to figure out. And but I see what you're saying. But if they go if they win the next 2 games, man, like it's rock and roll, bro.
If they win out, they have a good chance to be in. Because
Right. I know it's a long shot.
The Texans, and they're
I think they
also
go 50-50.
so one of them's going to be out. And
Right.
then
Well, I think the Texans
if
are out.
Jacksonville loses, then it really gets interesting.
You got to
let's talk Jacksonville real quick, man.
Right, yeah, your NFL team.
The quarterback's hurt.
Right, your NFL team as we go through this 17-game series season, man, you got to have a thick layered team. You know what I'm saying? Pat the Cleveland Browns on the back. They've won with 4 different quarterbacks. You know what I'm saying? But you got to be able. Your coach staff has got to identify guys who can play quarterback. It ain't no more Jim Sorgi. I'm sorry, Jim Sorgi is watching this broadcast, man. Where Jim Sorgi is only going to play against the New York Giants in the preseason, man. It's going to be Peyton Manning taking all the snaps, man. But there's no more backup. That's like 17 games. Like it's hard for Patrick Mahomes. Look like he need a backup. Yeah, sometimes, you know what I mean? But so that's kind of what's going on with they are a quarterback driven team. However much you like their defense, however much you like some of the other ancillary pieces that the Jacksonville Jaguars have kind of put together, they are a quarterback driven team, and Trevor Lawrence is not out there, you know what I'm saying, lighting boys up. And even when he is lighting boys up, there's still some things that he's got to learn, like, keep, you know what I'm saying, he's got a little bit of Josh Allen where he turns the ball over, but like they don't have their main quality, you know what I'm saying, shiny piece out there, and they've suffered for it. So you kind of people kind of believe that coach staff or is going to come find a way how to squeak through the rest of it, but it ain't no guarantees. Not in this NFL. There is no guarantees in this NFL. You might start out 6-0, and then you might spiral.
Right.
But you kind of, not to pick on, I know you hate the Ravens, but you kind of want to be like them. You want to be ascending at the right time. The Baltimore Ravens are ascending at the right time. And like I said, like a lot of these other AFC teams, especially the AFC South teams, they're not ascending right now at the right time.
Kansas City, man, we're seeing a whole different Patrick Mahomes now. That
he's unraveling.
A little bit of a character change, the heel turn is starting to.
We should have seen it. Yeah, when he said the thing about, he said, well, that we told him. Well, he said usually there's some grace period with that. There's no grace period if like you're lined up offsides, man. There's no grace period. Like there's no those like you're offside.
That was ridiculous.
Man.
Them complaining about that,
and that's where it kind of has started at. There's really hadn't been no Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift distraction. You know what I'm saying, or what have you. They just don't like the Chiefs got a lot of wide receivers that drop a lot of balls. And they don't have that. They never really. I never liked the Chiefs when they play with that high error. You know what I'm saying? Like we're gonna just beat you by 3, even though they should whip everybody by 33 because they had the offense to do it. But like right now, they don't have that luxury, man. So whether it's Eric Bieniemy's play calling,
Tyreek Hill,
or Tyreek Hill having that special kind of player besides Travis Kelce, they went cheap. They went cheap on wide out. And then now it's kind of paying for it. But people still confident. They should still feel confident that they can win games. But like now, you might not have, you know what I'm saying, the number 1 seed. You might have to go on the road. And that's the Kansas City we haven't seen in a long time.
Hey, not putting it in the universe, but they may get, and I don't know why the Vegas would do this, but I saw rumors that they may be trying to get Devontae Adams from the Raiders in the offseason. That'd be a huge piece for Kansas City.
That'd be a huge piece for him.
Huge piece. Speaking of, you kind of talked about the Browns a little bit for a second. You did. They're playing well. They've had 4 quarterbacks. Joe Flacco is their guy now. It's crazy. Joe's moving around everywhere.
They make a movie out of that.
Not my hot take. DraftKings Sportsbook has, and everybody's been talking about it, that the Comeback Player of the Year award.
Not Joe Flacco.
Yes. Are you kidding me? How he's played? Do you want to know who the favorite is right now? And I have a problem with it.
Go ahead.
The favorite to win Comeback Player of the Year award is Damar Hamlin. Are you kidding me? This dude has played 2 quarters.
That couldn't be Damar. And I get it, Damar. We all saw it, man. Like Damar.
I understand your health thing. I don't mean shit. If we're doing sympathy votes,
you got to play. You got to put. Yeah, you got to put up stats.
Joe Flacco right now is second in the voting on there. He should be Comeback Player. If they give it to this Damar Hamlin, load of crap.
You gonna say it's fixed?
Fit? Well, hell yeah. It's you know what? Well, somebody just say, "Hey, I broke my pinky," and then come back next year and
Man
make
broke
one
his heart.
pass for 10 yards. Then
Right
you can
now.
win the comeback player of the year or next
No,
year.
it's real
Come on, man.
interesting because we said
He's
it 2
making 2
episodes
tackles.
ago. Yes, it's real interesting 2 episodes ago, man, because quarterbacks like Joe Flacco, Jim Short, the homie down in Tampa Bay, uh,
Baker?
Baker Mayfield, and even Gardner Minshew, they're all going to be looking at probably like a 1-year contracts where they get paid somewhere between $15 and $17 million, man, because like I just said, you got to have good quarterback play to kind of, besides your superstar starter. But I don't know, man. Joe Flacco. It shouldn't be DeMar Hamlin. I don't believe it
No.
should be DeMar Hamlin.
And he's the leader in Vegas, all the sports books.
He got the people's
Soft
heart.
ass NFL. That's what I'm going to call it. We'll probably get thrown off here for that. The NFC, John. It's a clustered mess. I don't know who wants to have home field advantage. Is it the 49ers, the Philly, Detroit, Dallas?
But you know what, Brandon? The San Francisco 49ers lose a game, and there's really not, other than like their disappointment with them, because that's a big time game that the Ravens went in and won. But you always feel like the San Francisco 49ers, and I know there's not 4 more games.
He's not playing good.
Well, he's not, but you know that they don't have 4 more games in front of them. But you feel like they're confident. I do. I feel confident that the San Francisco 49ers will continue. Right? I'm not saying get to the Super Bowl, but continue to press to get to just because
teams
man, I don't trust the Dallas Cowboys. You don't trust them at all to win a big game outside of Dallas.
You don't think so? This might be the year.
They can't win They can't win a big game outside Dallas.
This might be the year, John.
It's not going to be. How about that? And I get there's been some woes with Philadelphia as well, but the things kind of their woes are kind of linked to their quarterback as well. He's dinged up, nicked up. You know what I mean? Not necessarily making excuses, but kind of putting it out there that he is dinged up, nicked up. But I think they'll be good to go as soon as the playoffs start. But I don't trust Dallas at all. I do trust San Francisco more than I trust anybody else on that particular side. You know what I'm saying? That particular conference. But I get there's nobody else that really scares you at all.
Look, I don't want to put this in the universe.
Yes, you do. That's why you're saying it.
I don't want to put it out there, but the Detroit Lions won the division, which first time since 1993.
Very good.
They're going to host their very first playoff game since 93 in Detroit, right? Probably going to be a night game if they're smart. They'll do it on a Saturday night, Sunday night, or Monday night when they do the game.
It's going to be incredible.
I have a problem, John.
Man, come on. What's your problem?
Here's my problem. Right now, based on the standings, if they finish how they are with San Francisco, Philly, then Detroit, because Detroit will be the 3rd seed no matter what at that point, they would be matched up with the 6th seed. I'm not putting it out there in the universe, John, but as of right now, can you not see Lions hosting their first playoff game since 1993, home crowd going crazy, and Matt Stafford comes back to Detroit and beats them?
They play better. The Rams have played better.
Can you not see that in the universe? And crushes the Lions fans again? I see it. If they give me the Rams all day, I think it's
Detroit will pick that dude off twice before that happened. Pick 6.
With what defense?
Their defense is okay, man. They keep their defense
what
defense.
Their defense is like 25th ranked.
One man, you spoiled on watching the Steelers defense for how many years, and we all know Bill Belichick and the AFC that's what defense is supposed to be. But nah, man, what the Rams have kind of put together, kind of mashed potato up. You know what I mean? It's not necessarily fool's gold because it's real NFL football. But I can't. Them going transcontinental, they not that special anymore. They're too dinged up. I still like Detroit to win that contest if it kind of plays out like that.
Okay, we're gonna bring a guest on real quick.
I want to tap in.
We're gonna have him tap in here. D-Cop, what's going on?
What's going on?
Living the dream, man. Hey, listen. You see where I'm at. You see where I'm at.
Your
Hey, I'm up
cousin's
here
out.
putting some. Yeah, exactly. Putting some bets in on the New Year's Six stuff, man. These lines are moving big time with these guys opting out, man. Um,
All
but you know
right.
it's that time of year, man. It's the last chance you get, the last couple of weeks to do some real betting on some football, man. So you got to get it in, somehow, some way, right? So hey, I haven't had an opportunity to listen to the show because it was a little noisy. Did you guys cover the Pacers yet?
We
No,
have
I haven't
not.
tapped it.
Just
Not at all.
NFL.
Okay. I'll stick with the NFL. Hey, I heard you, Jonathan, saying that you thought that Detroit was going to take care of the Rams if they had that opportunity. I think opposite, man. I think it's a mental thing. I think that golf is going to be so hyped up to prove something. I think they're going to be tight, and especially if they play in Detroit, that would be a bigger thing. They play in Detroit. I would say the way the Rams are playing right now, I'll say the Rams by a touchdown. In Detroit, just because of
Telling you,
that, man. Because
JB,
hey,
in the universe.
golf, man. He's played great the last year and a half. But let's be
Mhm.
real here. When in the biggest game of his life, man, he soiled his diaper
Well,
in
that's
the
the Super
biggest way
Bowl.
possible. Well, yeah. But
That's the
my
Super
point
Bowl.
being, but my point
He
being
did.
is they had an offensive juggernaut, and they let the old man from the East Coast wear him down, man. And I just got a feeling golf is playing well now. There's not a lot of pressure on him. Let's see what happens when there's a little bit of heat on him. And I just don't know that he'll be able to show up, man. That's my thought. That's my thinking.
I'm telling you, John.
So,
It's in the universe, John.
You didn't read
yeah.
the Sean
Stafford
McVay. You
returning
didn't read the
home.
Sean McVay handbook, man, and
Get
now you have.
P.
No,
Diddy.
man. Hey,
Get
we
P.
saw
Diddy.
it.
I'm
We
coming
saw
home
it for
strong ready.
ourselves. We
Okay, this
saw
my
it for
man.
ourselves,
He need to
man.
exercise his demons, man. Nah, hey man, but did you want to? We can chime in about the Pacers because like I've been kind of losing, not necessarily losing my mind about them, but
Man,
I
I was
they
hot
need. And my
last night,
personal opinion, you
man.
know what? Rather than like what they need to trade, like I think what they really need. I look at the Pacers versus like what other teams have, and like when the other winning teams that are on these hot streaks, they always have a second dude, another playmaker. So
Yeah.
like I can't remember who was it. Like Minnesota just won a game. They had like I don't know 30-some assists, man. Where so everybody they had two guys with double doubles in assists, man.
Yeah.
And I think that's why what the Pacers kind of need right now. Halliburton, I think we have a very talented team. There's offense that you
Yeah.
can get.
Yeah.
If you compare Obi Toppin, and I am to Aaron Gordon, that like what Denver has, and that type of over like he ain't as athletic as Gordon, but you see what I'm saying? You
Yeah.
get that
You're
kind
not
of
as
play from
strong.
him, but they don't have, like I said, the Pacers don't have a consistency enough of another playmaker that can get guys open or get guys easy. It's all Halliburton.
Well, why do you think that though? I think that's
Almost top
twofold
five.
though. Halliburton came in last night. He hit that big three after we wet the bed about 4 or 5
Mhm.
possessions in a row, and that's all well and good, right? But somebody's got to be designated as that guy. Right now, if you see the first guy that gets an open three, he's shooting it. Doesn't matter who it is. Other than
They tell right.
other than Isaiah Jackson, other than
So
Isaiah
right, I don't
Jackson.
because sometimes even when Obi Toppin hits him, I'm like, okay, well, yeah, but I don't think that's
Yeah.
I don't think that's what
Well,
that what we're.
that's not the neighborhood we want. That's not the neighborhood we want, and that's the challenge, right? Because they had about a 4 minute stretch last night where they just jacked up three, especially Buddy Hield. A couple
Yeah,
times, Nimhart got into the paint and he kicked it out to Buddy Hield
Yeah.
for
Saw
a
it
miss
several
for a
times.
miss for a mystery. And I'm sitting there at little water hole near where I live. I'm sitting there
right.
cussing at the TV and everything. I said, "That's your shot. Why, if you're going to turn down your shot for what your coach is telling you a better shot, which is a three on the outside, that's bad to me. That's bad coaching." Because you got to put players in a position where they can be
Well, they
more
also
successful. Nimhart's successful in the paint, and then you see 2 possessions after that. What did he do? He hit a floater that tied the
right
game up.
analytics. I don't. Sometimes analytics don't tell these coaching staffs
Yeah,
the right thing. Yeah, analytics said Golden State hit this many threes, or analytics said Boston
right.
Celtics hit this many threes. Well damn, man, y'all ain't the Boston Celtics, man. They got they got two
Well, that,
guards that this perennial all stars. You know what I mean? Or whatever. But my point is, rather than and I know I started this conversation on a comparative tip. Um, I don't think this is the year they make a big trade and move a piece. I think
man,
that's something they're going to see what they like what they have here. They're playing like money ball with Obi Toppin. If anybody wants to trade for that, they can, and I think the Pacers would be one, but I think the Pacers wouldn't be too crazy. Like they want to bring that back, not no 6 years or nothing like that, but like a short term deal, 2-3 years over for Obi Toppin.
So with that said,
go ahead.
What does that do to Bruce Brown? Bruce Brown has been very underwhelming.
Bruce Brown was supposed to be the dude we kind of talking about. That's supposed to get.
We talked about that. I think what happened with Bruce Brown is this: he was in Denver. He had a lot of backup. He was that little brother who had 4 big brothers. He was talking a lot of trash. Now those big brothers are still at home, and now he's out in the streets by himself. Not literally by himself, but
he needs to hit.
So
right.
I don't see the Bruce Brown that I saw last year in the playoffs. I think it's a confidence level, and also too, I think it's a scheme level. Man, he's not playing the same type of game that he was playing last year. He's more the guy that we're needed.
Right in Brooklyn, he even played point guard in Brooklyn.
Yeah,
right.
Where he was the primary ball handler, bringing up that's on coach.
Help you right now.
Well, he can't.
Yeah, he got the bruised knee. Yeah,
he's in and out of lineup. But they went big. So like last night, they went big, and it went well defensively for them.
To a point.
Till they start jacking up threes, man. You listen. I'm not saying nut up.
Analytics at NBA, man. That's what they tell them to do. Shoot.
I'm not saying nut up and get tight. What I'm saying is it's still basketball, man. Analytics isn't basketball. Those are just all numbers that have no human interaction. You're talking about guys that are getting down the court. And I looked at it about 4 different possessions, more than 16 seconds on the shot clock. Here comes the 3. I'm sorry. They were up 11. They were up 11. Then they were down. They were up 3, and then they were down 2. You can't continue. They don't have a pivot. I said this in the last show. They don't have a pivot, man. And until they find some type of a pivot, and I'm not saying, hey, you got to change and be the Detroit Pistons of 89-90. No, but what I'm saying is you can't continue to do those things. and I'm talking about from an offensive perspective and slowing the game down. You can't do that, man. And he hinted the other day about changing some things. What he was talking about was the lineup. If the lineup's a lineup, but if your thought process is the same, and your thought process is, hey, get up those shots. Doesn't matter who's in the game, man. And I'm gonna tell you this: a lot of people are down on Ben Mathurin. I've seen the last 10 games. I've seen Ben Mathurin do his damn well best to try to fit into what's going on. I believe that Ben Mathurin in 2 to 3 years will be a strong small forward in this league. He's not going to be a 3 shooter, but I think on his trajectory, because of the fact I think he's the type of guy that doesn't want to get into that 3-point. He wants to get to the cup, and he tries to get to the cup, man. And I got a feeling he's going to be out of Indy before we recognize what we've got.
Yeah, I hope not, man, because they didn't regulate him to like bench minutes, 6-man minutes, and that's cool to an extent, man. But like you need want your best players out there, and he needs to start.
Listen, man, I'm gonna tell you, the word I get is the guy's a real serious dude. He's a serious player. He doesn't joke around a lot. Jeremiah had mentioned that to me. He doesn't joke around with the media guys. He's not one of those guys, ha guys. He's a baller, right? And so this lady was standing over me there like she wanted to talk to y'all or something. That's why I looked like this. But anyway, he's a serious dude, man. And I just got a feeling this isn't the best for him. And remember in the beginning of the year when Carlisle had sat him down and they had a talk. It was like after game 3 or 4. I just got a feeling, man, before we realize what we haven't been, he's going to be in another city. And I don't want that to happen. But I believe because hopefully they don't sign Buddy this year, this off season, and they do some adjustments within the roster so he can get him in a comfortable situation where he has a defined role and he has an expectation of him. And I don't think the expectation is him shooting 6 threes a game.
Yeah, they've played very underwhelming, like you've said. 15-14. This team's lost in November. They've lost 3-4 home games to some team, twice to Orlando.
Yeah,
at home.
Yeah. Orlando's tough, man. Orlando's tough, man. They're long.
Charlotte,
they're athletic.
So, and they got the Bulls tomorrow night up in Chicago, and then they're home against the Knicks, I think on Saturday. I think it is or Sunday.
Yeah,
well, Saturday.
It's gonna be a tough one too.
You got to take care of your division games. John, I don't know if you heard me earlier. I said, the Pacers lost those games that they shouldn't have lost. They just lost to Orlando again. This team, 15 and 14. Boys, we got some work to do to get to that 40.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this. Also, Orlando's a better team. Orlando's a much. It's not like one of those close deals. They're so much more athletic, and I believe that the way they are.
So bad.
But think about this.
They tank so bad and put together a team. They finally got it. They got a good meshing team, man.
But also too, the coach.
They got two lottery picks at point guard.
Yeah. The coach has played the players to their strengths, and I believe, and I said this 2 years ago about Carlisle. He wants guys that when Luka fired him, he wants guys to fit into him. And I understand. So, he was a defensive coach. Now they're scoring a lot. No, they're scoring a lot, but he's trying to say, hey, I'm a different guy. He's still a control freak to me, man. He's still the same control freak. And until you allow your players to play to their strengths, you're going to be a meddling team. And I told Reggie last night, a couple of other buddies, I said, listen, man, the way they're played in that second half against Houston and the way they're going, I don't want to see them in the playoffs, man. Right. Because it'll be an embarrassment. I just really believe that. I really believe it because it would be a 1 or 2 seed is what they'd be looking at. If not, you're in the play-in, right? I don't want them to be embarrassed themselves. Something's got to change, and that's why I said I believe there's got to be something within the roster because Carlisle just signed his new deal. He's not going anywhere. So something's got to tweak. If it doesn't tweak, man.
Yeah, if it was a move that should be made, and I know. You know what I'm saying? Why not go get the dude from Chicago, man?
You're not talking about Levine. You're not talking about Levine.
No. I'm talking about the big from Chicago that didn't play there everywhere.
No, the Russian dude, right?
No, black guy didn't play there everywhere.
You talking about my man that just scored the 2020 last night. Drummond. Talking about Drummond.
Andre Drummond. You gotta have veteran. No, see, Brandon. That's what I'm saying, man. He'd
be cheap. He would be cheap.
Those 20 rebounds on Chicago may not be 20 rebounds for the Pacers, but they might just be 6 or 7 offensive rebounds. You know what I'm saying that you need, and that right now they're not getting them. Nobody has. You gotta have somebody gotta have a nose for the ball. He ain't never had no problem with that.
Well, right. But also too, if he gets the ball, they're gonna foul him, and he's gonna go 0 for 7 from the line too. Well, and that can be a detriment too if you're thinking about it because you can't have him in the game in the fourth quarter.
Right,
John. If you want to make the move, we can't make the move for as we talked about with Mikal Bridges. You can't make the move for Cam Johnson. There are certain moves you're limited to. I think if you're Kevin Pritchard. You're missing a certain piece that offensively, defensively can stretch the floor, can play in a little bit, can play out a little bit. You got a guy that fits in your salary cap. I think you can sign him after next season. I would see what you can send out to Utah to get Lauri Markkanen. That's the type of player I would take here. He's got a year left on his contract at 18.
So what do you do though? What do you do though? You got a log jam there at guys that are 6'9", 6'10". Do you go the Smith's last year? Do you get rid of Smith and then who else? Then do you bring up Jarris Walker? We were talking about that today. I think Jarris Walker, the way he's playing in the G League, and granted, G League is an NBA league, is playing his ass off, man. The dude is playing his ass off, and I think he needs a real shot.
Yeah, he does. I don't foresee them making no big time trade. Andre Drummond wouldn't cost you too much. It wasn't. You know what I'm saying? You bring up the complexities that happens on the floor, but I think they stick with this team at least until after next year, and they kind of see. I don't think Buddy Hield's going nowhere. They like him.
You mean nowhere like can re-sign him like him, or
they're gonna let him
this season?
He's not getting traded, man.
Send him to Utah. Send Norwood to Utah. Send you're not going to send Jalen, but I know you love Obi.
But who would you keep? Who would you keep? Obi or Jalen? Obi or Jalen?
You do Dylan.
You said who?
Obi.
Okay, so in that
I think Isaiah Jackson's played better than Jalen.
Let me tell you something. I told Reggie this day. I kid you not. We were having a good time. And by the way, he lost his grandma. Funeral's on the 6th of January. 103 years old, man. Lived a wonderful life, by the way. 103 years old. I'll tell you this. I'll tell you this. And when you speaking of that, Isaiah Jackson, no longer is he a liability at the free throw line. No longer is he a liability around the basket. And he's also an asset when it comes to covering that rim. If I had my ruthers, if I could combine Isaiah Jackson and Jalen Smith together, that'd be the perfect player for it. That's the guy we need. You got a guy that can stretch. You got a guy that can defend, and you got a guy that's not going to quit, man. Isaiah Jackson doesn't quit, and he's probably improved more. He's probably improved.
He's
One more point by him.
No, go ahead.
He's improved more than any Pacer probably in the last 5 or 6 years. Think about Isaiah Jackson's rookie year and think about now. He's no longer alive. You're comfortable putting him on the floor for 25 minutes, man.
A little bit, 25 minutes. He's better than Goga, but
JB's not a fan of it, man. He has better dreads than JB.
He's got better.
And also, he's a nice dude. Do you ever meet him?
He got to stop fouling.
He's got to cover the rim, man. Guys are blowing by him.
He's the body right now. He's the body guy out there. Yeah. I mean, now you sign James Johnson, but still.
You see that, you see guys blowing by these guards, man, and the weak side help isn't there. He's going to get himself in foul trouble. But I'm going to just tell you, I'm not saying he's a $15 million a year guy. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying the guy's improved. You see his work, the work he's put in, and it's seeing it on the floor. I don't hate when Jalen's back, but when Jalen's back, Isaiah, there's been he's had some DNPs, man, and that's disappointing. That's disappointing, man, for a guy that's working that hard, that's not going to embarrass you on the defensive end. Yep. It's the team we've got. The pieces don't match. It doesn't match, man. And if maybe we won't do anything mid-season at the trading deadline, but sometimes something's got to give. You got a lot of assets. You got some picks. You got a lot of guys that are 6'4" to 6'8". They're very similar, and you got 3 expiring contracts, right? You got Buddy, you got Bruce. And you got who else was it? Who else was that? McConnell has 1 more year left after this, and then Jalen has a year left also. Oh, Obi has a player option. So what I'm saying is, you got those are assets, right? Something's got to give. And think about those 3 guys I just named. All 3 of them are rotational players. So this team can look very different this time next year, man.
Yeah.
If all the pieces fall into play.
D-Cod, I've got a stat for you. Okay? I've got a little stat nugget.
I love stats.
This is college football stat nugget. So
okay.
And I've done some research. Since 2010, as an underdog, Alabama is 3-1 straight up. They're 3-1 against the spread as an underdog. All 4 of those games were against Georgia. This will be the first time that Alabama has been an underdog to any team not named Georgia since the 2009 SEC title game. As soon as the pairings came out, I took Bama. I'm sticking with Bama to win this game against Michigan.
They're getting a point and a half, man. I took them on my FanDuel today. I got them. I took them at that point. I couldn't believe it's still at a point and a half. So I took them to win outright because I do believe they're going to win. I do believe they're going to impose their will on Michigan. They haven't seen those type of players, and I think that it'll settle in a little bit like Bama does. They'll settle in a little bit, but they've got something to prove because they're seeing they're a point and a half dog. They're saying, wait a minute, we're still Bama. So you're going to disrespect, everybody wants to play the disrespect card, right? Hey, go ahead and play it, man. And I wouldn't be surprised, man, if you see a 2-touchdown win. I'm saying this, right? Because I just don't believe in Michigan. I don't believe in their quarterback. I don't believe in their offensive prowess, man. I just don't. I mean, yes, they're a good team. They're a strong defensive team, but they haven't played against a team from an offensive perspective the way Tommy Rees has continued to migrate that offense from game 1 to game 12. I've never been impressed with anything Notre Dame other than Tommy Rees over the last 5 weeks. Well, the last 5 games, not 5 weeks. Last 5 games, that offensive game has evolved. He's put Jalen in the not just in the passing situation, but now he's putting quarterback draws, delayed quarterback draws. All these things you didn't see the first 6-7 games of the year, man. And I got a feeling they got a cake baked for him, man. Come next Monday.
Maybe did you hear my stat? You online?
Man. Yeah. Hey, he didn't hear you. He didn't hear you. Share it with him. Share it with him. He didn't hear you.
You didn't hear my stat, John? You kept going in and out, so I don't know if you heard it or not. I kept
saying. Go ahead.
Here's your stat. Alabama. Since 2010, as an underdog, Alabama is 3-1 straight up. And are also 3-1 against the spread as an underdog since 2010.
Mhm.
All 4 games have been against Georgia. This is the first time
Michigan.
Alabama is an underdog to any team not named Georgia since the 2009 SEC title game. First
So
time.
what do you think? What do you think, JB?
I mean, when I look at it, I think
Taxes and Nick Saban.
when I look at it, I think you got to look at the line play, offensive line versus defensive line play. I get it that you're looking at the quarterback. Jalen Milroe is probably a definite future long-term quarterback than the kid who played for Michigan, but the Michigan played. I don't know why he wasn't invited to the daggone New York ceremony, but I get it. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't, man. You know what I'm saying? You only have 4 people there, right? But like, I think this is gonna be a closer game than everybody kind of expects, man.
No, I'm not saying they're going to run roughshod. I just think that just like Bama with Georgia, I think the offensive line is going to start to push them around. The defensive line.
Was the Alabama great against the run this year?
But listen, no, Alabama's continue to get better each and every week. That's my point, and Georgia saw it. Georgia ran roughshod over.
If Alabama ain't good against the run this year, then Blake Corum's going to tear him up.
Listen. Let me tell you something. I'm going to tell you right now. Bama has the best defensive backfield in college football. Per PFF ratings, not just COT, per PFF rating, best defensive backfield in college football. I'm telling you, they're gonna rush. They're gonna rush. Right, exactly. The defensive backfield stars. You got 3 first rounders in the defensive backfield.
We can ask Nick Saban because he's been there, done that in this position. But it ain't like Jim Harbaugh is going to be playing with his brain. You know what I'm saying?
No, not at all. Not at all. But you know, and I know this game is Harbaugh's last game at Michigan.
Nah,
and that's going to weigh. I'll believe it when I see it. That's going to weigh. That's going to weigh. I understand the 10-year, $125 million. Let's see you sign it first before we talk about you being back there, right? Hey, between now and the first, there may be another scandal. There may be another scandal.
He's already non-committed. He's already not commented about the NFL, man. He's already started that, man. So
well, you know what that means.
They probably already
yeah.
Somebody
he don't want to lie.
To be the Los Angeles Chargers head coach.
But I'm gonna tell you this. To your point though, JB, I do think it's going to be a good game. I think late touchdown field goal, maybe pick 6, scoop and store, something like that from a desperation perspective. I see it's going to be a close game in the first half. I think in the second half, that wheel is going to wear them down, man. I just believe that 100%, you know. But we'll see. I mean, that's why they play the game, right? We'll see what happens at 5 o'clock Monday.
What do we think about the other side, the other game, Texas and Washington?
Man, I think it's going to be a high-scoring shootout, and I'm hoping. Listen, it's crazy.
They got stars though too.
I like Penix, right? Because obviously he was ex-Indiana guy, right? I like Penix, but man, Texas have grown men in that front 4, man. I said this to y'all back in September. They got grown men there, and that running back for Washington's really good, but he hasn't seen the type of play that Texas is gonna throw at him also too. You know,
right.
and if viewers is on.
Washington probably has a good enough defensive players, kind of like how remember that Cincinnati team that was, you know what I'm saying? They're kind of like that. There's gonna be some of the guys on that defense from that Washington team that you're gonna see in the NFL. That we're gonna see in the NFL. They're real spotty. I kind of got Texas to win, but like I said, Penix Jr. is gonna go out throwing.
Man, you know, from I'm gonna just tell you from a Bama fan perspective, I'd rather see Texas again. Because Washington's that spread you out. They're going to go 5 wide. They're going to try to throw everything but the kitchen sink at you.
Oh, yeah.
I just got to, and granted, yes, I understand Texas's coach is who he is and all that stuff like that. But, man, I just don't think that Washington has anything to lose, right? In their mind. I just think you're talking double reverse, halfback passes, all those things are on the table. And I think it's going to be an exciting game.
They ain't doing Statue of Liberty.
Yeah. Listen,
honestly, I give the edge. I like Texas in the game. I think when it comes down to, as you said, it's gonna be high scoring. You're gonna need a defense to step up at some
Yeah.
point. I trust Texas's defense to step up at some point rather than Washington's.
Yeah, because that tailback for Washington is really good, but I don't know they've got the tailback depth that also that Texas has also, and that's a challenge too, man. You get a guy. If you look at what happened, a few weeks ago when Bama played Auburn, Chase McClellan got hurt. When they did the old, they do, what's that? The tackle they do now that messed up Andrews for the year, the drop tackle.
Yeah,
it dropped on his and you have those guys, more and more guys are doing that. So say for instance he goes out, his backup. I don't remember seeing his backup play again in the Pac-12 championship game. Or if he did, maybe a spot here or a spot there.
Mm-hmm.
But I think depth is going to matter, right? Not just from the defensive line, but also your tailbacks also too. Because guys are going to get worn out. They're going to get hyped up. Everybody's going to be exerting a lot of energy and nervous excitement. So then what happens, right? So, but that's the good thing about it, though. Man, I don't think either of these games you can look and say no. There's a guarantee this team is definitely no way they're going to lose.
So
like when Bama with Washington, yeah.
To give you your update, spreads: Michigan -1.5, Texas -4. They do have some futures for the national championship.
They dropped to have a point. They dropped to have a point on that.
Alabama over Texas. Alabama is favored at -2.5.
Man,
Alabama and Washington. Alabama's favored -6. Washington and Michigan. Michigan -6.5, and Texas and Michigan. Michigan -3. So they have Bama winning both of their games. They've got Michigan winning both games that they're in. So that's saying there they don't believe in Texas or Washington to win the title.
But that championship game, Michigan, Alabama.
You think that's because of Sark and his history, from at USC and even the stint when he had it out at Atlanta, the Falcons.
I think you're going to see a different wrinkle from Alabama against Sark, just because Saban knows with Sark. I think there'll be a different wrinkle that would give that advantage to Alabama. What you said, you'd rather play Texas because I think Sark may try to be too cute in that national championship too against them.
He's got something to prove, man. Think about it. I mean, he's saying Nick Saban's praises for the last 2 years. He talked about how he saved his life. He talked about all these things, right? And he's like, but now it's my time. And he's thinking, I beat you guys once. And he knows probably also if Bama had not beat Georgia, there's a strong chance he would not have been in the national title hunt. Because if Bama beats Georgia, I'm telling you, Florida State,
trying to get riled up with this damn controversy crap, man.
but no, I'm just think, JB. Listen, Bama loses to Georgia. Of course, Bama's out, Georgia's in, and Florida State's in. I'm telling you,
they're trying to bankrupt the ACC.
Listen, it's too late. It's too late, man. It's the leak. The roof is leaking, baby.
I keep receipts of these things, man. And we got for real big time go now. Chip Kelly, he came on and said some things.
He was smart.
Chip Kelly said tear it all apart, and it's kind of like the Notre Dame way of thinking things, like we are all independent. Because he said some great things. He said, hey man, it doesn't make sense for UCLA baseball or UCLA really even. He was kind of saying UCLA basketball too.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying, to be playing in Purdue or Indiana, in Maryland, it doesn't. And I'm not shading. I'm not shading those programs, but like those programs, that feeder baseball and those other ancillary sports, they feed off of Southern California, as do these teams up here. And they sometimes they'll meet at the World Series or the Women's Championship, whatever the case may be, right? So, but we all know that's not gonna happen, right? Everybody's not gonna go independent. You know what I mean? But when I look at these coaches saying, well, we already knew it was gonna be 4 teams only. But I'm saying, there's no Pac-12 no more. So don't insult the viewership. Don't insult the people who cover the shit. Sorry, you know what I'm saying? It's always gonna be. We knew it's gonna be 4 teams, but like, most of us think in our mind, y'all don't respect the Pac-12 no way. How did y'all automatically? And I know how they did. How did y'all automatically say, hey, man, well, the Pac-12 was automatically good this year? Man, bull-oney. You know what I'm saying?
So what's your fix?
If you dump Clemson, I said it. If you dump Clemson in the Pac-12, they'll still have the same kind of season. I think. Well, my point is, I think they just said, "Hey, man, because whatever we want to do, that's what they did." because
Right.
and I'm not giving Florida State no anchor or excuse me, no lifeline, because they just as dumb as they want to follow suit. If you want to get out of your conference, just pay your money. They paid $132 million to leave.
But they don't want to do that though. They want to leave because they been left at the altar. They want to leave. They want to show. I'll show you. I'll take my ball and go home.
Nobody's bailing out. So now you're going to sue the people. But like that, and that seems dumb because 12 teams are going to get in this playoff, and at least I'm telling you, at least 2 ACC teams are going to go get in. At least 2.
You mean next season? Next season,
at least 2 teams from the ACC team will get in.
John, what was your thoughts? I loved what Chip Kelly said, and I was listening to it as we were driving down to Nashville, and I love the fact he said you play 7 games, you have 7 open games to choose the schedule in football. Whoever the hell you want to schedule, 7 games to schedule, and then you have 5 games that you are assigned a quote region. So it might be the Northwest, or it might be the Southeast area. So you may have Florida State, Georgia, Alabama, or Auburn, something like that. And then the next year you switch to a different region. I kind of like that idea.
I'll be honest with you.
But is that too progressive? Is that too progressive though? Because right now, today's climate, I think that they want to put it in their own little bubble and have it how they want. I just think that may be a little bit too progressive.
Yeah,
I think we'll be there before long.
The Florida teams. Why would all the Florida teams? Let me ask you this, guy. And I know everybody thinks I'm anti-SEC. Why would another Florida team, whether it's FSU or Miami, automatically want to jump into a SEC pot when the politics and how the money flows and where the athletes go don't necessarily they don't mean they're gonna still show up at your footsteps. Yes, you're gonna get the money from the conference by being in this super conference, but the athletes not gonna come. They're still going to Alabama first. They're still gonna go to Georgia first.
But you can sell that point to say, listen, I know that may have been your first one, but now you can play against those guys. You can consistently play against those guys where you have an opportunity to prove yourself. Now, where does that sit with these players of today? Do they really want to prove themselves? Well, and maybe if they don't want to prove themselves, maybe not.
I think it goes to a university level. I think, and to be honest, the reason why, John, I think universities are more worried about getting that money from TV and from a conference, and if their football team does well or not.
They ain't worried about winning. The university ain't worried about the fan base. The university ain't worried about tickets.
As long as they're making that money, they don't give a damn.
Yeah,
money.
They don't give a shit. Yeah. They're making $300 million.
The FSU needs to quit crying. We're gonna clip this one. Quit crying. Pay you $132 million exit fee, and then join the Big Ten, or
either Big 12, Big 12 or Big 12. SEC
they need to join somewhere where they're gonna be. They're gonna still be special.
Hypothetical.
If they go to DK and Brent, if they go to the SEC, they will not be special.
Well, that's why I say Big 12. That's why I say Big 12. The Big 10 wants them, so the Big 10 can touch Florida. I get that.
That's why the Big 10 was one, right?
Yeah. But they need to be the Big 12.
If Deion was a coach of Florida State, you think they would have got in?
I don't.
Do you think that has a little bit to do with it as well? I think it has a little bit.
I don't. They somebody said that.
You know how much ESPN was all over his nuts this year?
Because people want to see him lose. People want to see him lose, man.
Hey, did you see his comments today?
I don't believe it.
No, I didn't see it today.
His comments today were, well, if we went undefeated, we'd be in over Florida State this year. Deion. He said that today.
Because people want to see him lose. Listen, there may be something to that. Because look at the ratings. Someone sent me a clip of the ratings of the last season. The TV ratings. It was Bama was 1. I forget who was 2, and Colorado was 3. And one of the things I said was because people want to see them lose. They want to see you lose just as much as you want to see them win. So there's maybe some validity to that statement. So if they were 12-0,
let me ask y'all this, man, because I kind of thought about this. Will this change how teams schedule their preseason?
Man, no, because you still need those bye weeks, man. Look and just
Alabama
look at the
still
SEC
needs to
schedule.
play Alcorn State. They still
you're right, because they're the only teams that do that. You're exactly right.
No, they're not the only ones.
but the point being is, you still need those bye weeks, man. You still need. I mean, you just do, because you're going back to back to back. These guys, granted they're being paid now, but these guys still aren't pros, man.
Right.
They still need that. They still need that bye week. That's why you're going to have those, because I think Bama's bye weeks are, I think, week 1 and week 3 this season. I think they've got Mercer, and I forget they got Chattanooga. I think if I'm not mistaken, one is Labor Day weekend as well as another. You still need those just because you got to get these guys up and going, man. Right. So I don't think those are going to go away.
Last thing I have, D-Cop, for you, fellas. When the Pistons going to win another game?
I'm hoping. I'm shooting for 40, man. Listen, I'm hoping for 40. I'm hoping for a flush. If you look at that schedule, if they don't, and also, you know what I noticed? For the next month, they don't have a back-to-back. No, they don't have a back-to-back. They don't have a back-to-back. They don't have a back-to-back for the next month. Take a look at their schedule. It is stressed. They got Boston tomorrow night, I think, and then they got a 5-game road trip out west.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking now at DraftKings.
This can get to 32.
DraftKings right now has a thing, and I'm going to hop on it, D-Cot. They have a Pistons win. The next regular season win for the Pistons will be right now. It's set for the home game against Toronto on the 30th, 2 days from now, or 3 days from now.
Yeah, it's Saturday.
At Utah, January 3rd. Then it's the Spurs on January 10th. At plus 700. I'm thinking about that one, but here, for them not to win another game, it's plus 30,000. So, John, $10 would win you $3,000 if they don't win another game the rest of the year.
I got
$10.
I'm gonna do it,
man. Hey, listen, I'm thinking it's going to at least be 30. I'm thinking in that 31, 32 range because, again, like you said, they don't have the difficulty of the next few games, and also they don't have a back-to-back. But here's the thing I heard. I was listening to JMV, but it was Rakestraw was on there today. Mm-hmm. You don't want to be the team.
They lose.
Teams are now gearing up. Listen, no,
I'm glad the Pacers don't play them anymore. Coming up for a while.
I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful for that, man.
That's the type of game we would lose.
Yeah, in Detroit, they're so young. They really don't want to trade it. You know what I'm saying? None of those guys just yet.
That's the other thing. Their core players are 25 and under. So one of the things they talked about, it was XM86 and Justin Termini. He brought it up. He says, when does a GM who's been there for 4 years get some credit for this just garbage? The most losses they had in a row prior to now was 14. Last year it was 11. They've doubled that already. So somehow the GM got to say, listen, you got a bunch of teenagers and young kids, and you didn't surround them around any real veterans who can make a difference. Right. And I wouldn't be surprised if there's an opportunity for a selling opportunity for one of those good players. You know, strike when the iron's hot, right? You know, buy low, sell high. All the old saying, right?
Oh, Young Donovan's being about it there for sure.
Yeah,
I still believe you're trying to get after some star players. Like, who the hell would want to go to Detroit after seeing this?
Yeah. Hey. Bring pot roast in, man. Bring pot roast in. We can send Jalen to him, man, and we can bring Norwa and a second round of pick, man. Because listen, he's got $15 million over the next 4, so this isn't coming cheap,
right,
man.
Hey, they have they also have a new prop bet you can do for this already. They already have it up. Which team will Bronny James be drafted by in the 2024 draft? Pacers plus 3,500.
Here's my issue with that, man. And again, I haven't seen the kid play enough, right? I know he's not playing a lot there at USC right now. Other than his name being LeBron James, what am I missing?
Nothing. The Lakers are stupid enough to waste a first-round pick on him next year. I'm telling you. They are stupid enough to do it.
He's a decent college player.
Well, you describe decent.
So, wait a minute. You thinking that he's supposed to come in and star as a freshman, and that's not the case. There's another guy
that's how he's being hyped up.
They already got lottery pick on, right? So I'm saying he's a Division I basketball player. He gets minutes. He shoots well from 3. He blocks shots. He gets back on defense. And he's on the minute restriction. So even if we wanted to be arguing, that's not gonna happen. You know what I mean?
Who we talking about now?
Bronny.
Evaluation. He had to go back to school.
Oh, okay, bro. Okay. So I don't see it, man. He what, 6'3", 6'4"? in that area, right?
What you can be like, 2-3 years from now, you know what I'm saying, with growth and playing time, you know what I'm saying? But like it's not what you want. Everybody wants to see, like, what did we see, like how his dad did jump from high school or this level, and that's not the case.
I don't think he's at that level, man. I don't. Not only do I don't think he's at that level, I think that carrying that name is going to wear like an albatross around his neck, and I don't see it. I don't see it long term. I think he's a good player, but he's going to get exposed. God, everybody's going to go at him. Everybody's going to go at his neck. Because he's not his daddy, one thing, right? And more than likely, his daddy got in somebody's throat, right? So they're going like, this is my time, my opportunity for payback.
Here's my other hot take. Well, it's not a hot take. It's me being pissed off. Kevin Durant needs to shut his damn mouth. And you can clip this and tag him.
He probably,
man.
I
don't get it.
Being hurt, not playing below 5. Son, you chose to go out there. You're the one to break it with the Brooklyn. Just because you have to have a ragtag of superstars to be on their back to win a championship. What I tell you, John?
Yeah.
Kevin Durant's never going to win another NBA title. I told you that.
Yeah.
Clip it.
Yeah. The game doesn't translate, man. Yes, he's going to score. He's going to score and all those good things. But at the end of the day, what I've seen is if you're not on Golden State teams, you're not a difference-making winning player. He's great player. Don't get me wrong, 100%. But at the end of the day, he isn't going to make that difference in Phoenix.
He's not
he
the water carrier.
He wants to try to win a title.
He's not one of the water carriers that, like, Magic Johnson or Kareem Abdul-Jabbar or Shaquille O'Neal. He's not the water carrier.
Right.
Career, like, and I get it. Like, people are going to automatically compare, and I am compared to LeBron. LeBron's not necessarily defensively like what he used to be. Like, LeBron go out here and score 40, and the team's still going to win. Like, and like, Durant, get it together, bro.
I don't want to hear Easy Money Sniper 35 complaining anymore. I don't.
Yeah, I don't see it happening. I don't see it happening either, man. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. Our boys got a game. We got 2 games this weekend. We'll see what happens there. But are you all going live anytime before the first, or is this it?
I'm not sure. I gotta go back to work tomorrow for the first time in 16 days. So
okay.
We'll see.
Okay.
Who's playing next? Kennesaw State.
Yeah, I think it is, isn't it?
If they lose to Kennesaw State, we're going live, man.
Oh
man. Okay, deal. Good deal. Make sure you text me. Let me know. Let me know what it is, man, for sure. But definitely good stuff. I won't be listening but I'll probably message you guys if I get some good action. If I hear something good, I'll send you guys a link or something for sure.
Sounds good. Thanks, D-Cop.
All right, fellas. Y'all be safe, fellas.
See ya. All right, John, I'm just tired of hearing Kevin Durant bitch and moan. You chose to go to this team. You wanted these players, and your guys are below 500. You're struggling again. It's a repeat of Brooklyn. You quit crying, man. Go to Clippers. Shit, it ain't gonna work out there either.
Yeah.
He will. What episode was that? We're on episode 281. I think I said 260 something or 270 something. I said clip it that Kevin Durant will never win an NBA title ever again.
I don't think it's gonna happen. I don't know where he's gonna go next, man.
Not when you have to be on the shoulders of other players. The only thing he's ever going to win left is going to be an Olympic gold 2024. That'll be his last thing. He's just going to be another modern day everyday player. We didn't get back to the NFL. We need to talk Colts. Lost to the Falcons, John. Bad loss to the Falcons when you need it with playoff positioning.
To Tyler Heineke. Here they going through their own little quarterback controversy, and the defense you would think would have feasted on a guy like Heineke, or feasted on a team that hell don't even know do they want to play their running back full time,
right?
Who was a first rounder, right? But no, man, definitely that's some stink on them going down there. Here's what you learn more about the team that you cover. I think Shane Steichen. He might not be coach of the year, but he should be mentioned in coach of the year category. You know what I'm saying? Just kind of, but you lost your star player, and you know what I'm saying, rookie quarterback, and you basically kind of had to use Gardner Minshew as a, you know what I'm saying, as a you know what I'm saying, as a key starter. And y'all know what y'all get with Gardner Minshew. You're gonna get good Gardner Minshew that can atone for like 300 yards of offense and maybe an interception. You're gonna have bad Gardner Minshew, which you kind of say with the Atlanta Falcons. And it wasn't good. They couldn't score points. They couldn't move the ball. Fumbles. Whatnot. Defense. Again, I'll point back to the defense, man. Like you couldn't stop Tyler Heineke. You know what I mean? But one game don't make a season, one game don't break a season. And like I said, they put together a string of games and put themselves 2 games in, with 2 games left to make a playoff run.
Yeah, both of them are home games. Raiders and Texans.
Berthon thought they was going to win 4 or 5 games. And here,
I had 5.
Here they are, flirting with the playoffs. And I think they might get in. They I got an 80% chance of them getting in.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Yeah, you got a home game this weekend against the Raiders. And you got a home game against the Texans. That game could be a Sunday night game, especially if Houston. And I don't know if Stroud's going to be back for this game or not, but definitely severe playoff implications for this game. So we'll see what happens with that. My thought, John, is you take care of business. I think Steichen should get Coach of the Year votes, absolutely, for what he's had to deal with, especially what we talked about the offseason with the Jonathan Taylor issues, the Anthony Richardson saga that went on with that, and then you have multiple players being suspended throughout the season. You have one guy suspended for gambling as well. You have the Jim Irsay hot takes going on. The only one I haven't heard people taking shots at or even any apologies right now as well is Ballard. Nobody's went down that route before this year on that. So we'll see. I think the Colts have themselves in a great position. I think they make the playoffs. And I said that a couple weeks ago. I think they beat the Steelers. They still make the playoffs. I think they do. I think they beat the Raiders this week. They beat the Texans next week. They're going to sit themselves in a good spot. The problem is you're going to face a gauntlet. You're either going to play Baltimore in the second round, or in the first round, you're going to either have Miami, Miami, who the hell's the third, or the Chiefs, most likely. And that's going to be a gauntlet. So we'll see what happens there. But that's my thought. John, they're starting to name the finalists for the Pro Football Hall of Fame class for this year.
Mm-hmm.
They've named 3 finalists so far. All 3 of them are wide receivers as of right now. Reggie Wayne is now a finalist again for the 5th time. So he will be on that final list to see if he makes it. Torrey Holt also on that final list, and Andre Johnson. Those 3 so far are the 3 that they have named as finalists there. I know me and you've had this discussion off the air. I think especially at Best Buy. I think we had this conversation. But if you get one in, you got to get the other. If Reggie Wayne's in, Hines Ward should be in. And if Hines Ward's in, then Reggie Wayne should be in. Because they're
right.
typically the same type of player, even though Hines Ward was a better blocker than Reggie. Right.
But he's got the stats, he's got the hardware. And he's got those big time moments in the playoffs where, Hines Ward, the Pittsburgh Steelers probably wouldn't win that game without whatever contribution. The thing you said about Reggie Wayne, Torrey Holt, man, it's a squinter for me, man. I'm not saying he was terrible, man, but it's a squinter. Andre Johnson, please, man. Never. Andre Johnson, never.
Broncos are benching Russell Wilson. That way they don't have to pay him the huge money. They're saying it's quote injury. This is the Matt Ryan 2.0 incident, what the Colts did to him. They're likely going to cut him in March. With Russ, where, John?
Go back home. Go back to Seattle.
You think? Because my thought was, hey, can the Steelers give him a good deal to come on in?
Do you want that to muddle with the development of your team? Are they on the same growing path?
Right now, we ain't developing at all.
Well, I'm just saying, in this offseason, you're going to get a bunch of young players, and that ain't necessarily the same growing path that with Russell Wilson. So somebody's going to try to grand slam that one. It might be Atlanta. Who knows? It might be the foolhardy Jets. Right. But I think Russell Wilson, he'll probably come back. He'll probably be with one of the New York teams, man. Daniel Jones ain't gonna be 100% coming back.
Sierra loves New York, so yeah, I can see her being a
I
Giant.
can definitely see him going to one of the New York teams, and it like because like the Aaron saga, that's a trip. That was unnecessarily like why like Pat McAfee, like he had media commitments with Pat McAfee. That's the only round you really kind of chimed in. Like he's saying he's gonna play. Like Blue, you blew your tire, you blew your Achilles. How you gonna play? And like
right.
I thought it was a whole song and dance.
It was a bit.
Ownership said that everybody's coming back. The coach and the offense coordinator is coming back. Man, I'd have got rid of. I'd have cleaned the house for everybody. Aaron Rodgers. I would have. Zach Wilson too. Bye.
I just caught up today. I watched the last 4 episodes of Hard Knocks with the Dolphins, so I'm caught up on it all. By the way,
you believe it?
One of our shows, I'll show it. I've got a championship belt coming. I won my fantasy football league on Monday night. I've got a fantasy football championship belt that's coming from winning the league. So looking forward to that. But I kind of, man, this Dolphins team, we talked about they haven't won in December. They finally went out and beat the Dallas Cowboys on a hell of a drive that they made there. I know you're not a Dallas believer. This week, I believe they play Baltimore at Baltimore. So that's going to be the big test for them going up there to Baltimore.
Show me something to it. I remember a couple weeks ago saying, man, this ain't the end of this. Ain't the dog. We ain't gonna lose our mind if we didn't lose. I can't remember who they lost to. Some chump. Somebody they should have. Hey, we will lose our mind. You need to go on the road and duke it out with the Ravens. Come out with a win. Show the world that hey, man, he deserves to be MVP, not the wide receiver, and that take it from the Ravens. But I don't know, man. That's a tough task, man.
Okay. Give me 1 second here, John. I'm trying to mess around with some viewing. Okay. Let's do our pick'em. College football pick'em. Tanner is sick, under the weather. Sounds like an old man. Hope he's getting better. I've been there. He probably caught COVID, man, like what I had for Thanksgiving. So get better, Tanner. I've got his picks already typed out and written on our spreadsheet here. So bull pick'em starts tonight with the games that we're actually picking. Jonathan, first game we have on our list, Holiday Bowl, Louisville -7 versus USC. Who do you like?
Give me Louisville, man. All them Southern California pretty boys and checked out. If they still playing, man, there's probably some good offensive line play that I'm gonna be checking for. But I like Louisville to win this game to put the cherry on top of their season.
I've got Louisville as well. No Caleb Williams. Those guys checked out. They don't give a damn about a Holiday Bowl. Tanner's got Louisville as well. So we're all 3 on Louisville. Texas Bowl. Texas A&M -2 versus Oklahoma State. Me and Tanner are both on Oklahoma State. I don't trust Texas A&M. They are hot trash, hot garbage.
They only got invited to this game because they're a brand. Oklahoma State is taking this game seriously. Last time we saw Oklahoma State, they were getting run off the football field by Texas. So this might be a little bit like, I got you. Especially with those guys. Those guys know each other from those locker rooms. They know one another, man. So give me Oklahoma State.
The Pinstripe Bowl, Rutgers -1 versus Miami, the U. Man, Tanner's going with Miami. Man, that Miami team don't want to come up to New York City to play a bowl game. It's too cold up here for them. They can have anybody up there. Give me Rutgers -1.
I like Rutgers in this one too, man. The U's been somewhat of a fraud, man, the last couple of seasons, man. A lot of those guys kind of check out. Hell, Vince Light, Van Dyke, whatever the hell his name, he's already transferred. So, like, right. No, give me Rutgers.
Exactly. Alamo Bowl, Arizona -3 versus Oklahoma. No Dylan Gabriel. Doesn't matter to Tanner. He's taking Oklahoma. Man, give me Arizona. This game means more to Arizona. The dream season that they had this year. No Dylan Gabriel for Oklahoma. Give me the Wildcats in this one.
Give me Arizona too, man. Arizona's going over to the Big 12 next year. They're basically taking the place of Oklahoma, man. So, there you go. Give me Arizona.
Yeah. Gator Bowl, Clemson -4 versus Kentucky. I'm on Clemson. Yeah. Tanner's on Clemson. I think Clemson, Dabo's going to get that win. They kind of turned around towards the end.
Dabo's when he said invest, and make sure you invest in Clemson, man. They took a little bit of lumps early on in their season, man. Dabo he's going to figure out this whole NIL transfer portal deal. You know what I'm saying? All those things. But as far as like having his team prepared on a week-to-week basis, nobody's ever kind of questioned that, man. So Clemson, they've been gone. You know what I'm saying? Not necessarily the ACC plans they had versus like last year versus this year, but like, man, you know what I'm saying? They finished strong. They finished the season strong this year. You know what I'm saying? I see them winning this bowl game to finish, like I said, to finish the season even more stronger, to go into next season.
Yeah, yes, I agree with you. By the way, I know we're doing pick 'em here, but I need to make sure I don't forget to give a shout out to Indiana State men's basketball. John,
There you go.
11-1 this year. Drake's 11-2, but Indiana State 11-1, 10-game winning streak, 2-0 in the conference already. I said a couple weeks ago, I thought this team they bullied Ball State at the Indy Classic, bullied them. Indiana State's a team I could see them winning 2 games, even a game or 2 games in the NCAA tournament come March. Problem is, you're gonna have to win your conference to do it, so they're gonna have to beat Drake. But
Great.
I like this team. Will not shock me in 2 days. They go up to the Breslin Center and they beat Michigan State.
They're gonna have to hit a lot of shots. They're gonna have to hit a lot, and they have a great pace. They play with a great pace.
By the way, speaking of them, shout out Zion.
Yeah, my daughter goes to Indiana State.
Shout out Dean's List. Impressive.
My daughter Zion was on the.
Oh yeah, we gotta give a shout out for that.
Like I said, man, my holiday season's been a little different, man. So, but like, no, man, Indiana State. I don't necessarily have them. I think they're going to compete, Brandon, against Michigan State. Michigan State. This has been an up and down Michigan State team this year. But I think Michigan State is going to be a real close game. But like, no, I got Indiana State. They should win. They should win the MVC this year, man. And we should them filling in their brackets. We should be saying where we're going to put now. That how they get effed over when that bracketology comes out. That's one thing. But we should see Indiana State. You know what I'm saying, filling out that bracket. You know what I'm saying.
Finishing our bowls, Sun Bowl, Oregon State versus Notre Dame. Notre Dame 6.5-point favorites.
I'm not a believer, man. No, Notre Dame is they failed us, man. They failed us, and I know people are gonna say, man, you holding a grudge because they didn't give you y'all media credentials again this year. This is 3 years running. They didn't deny us from South Bend. It's okay. Like y'all got quarterback issues. Who's your quarterback? Going further, they don't know.
Right?
Oregon State. Yeah. Give me Oregon State. Give me the Beavers.
Me and Tanner are both on Notre Dame in this game. Somehow I think they get it done. Oregon State, they've kind of faltered off that a little bit.
Hey, but Brandon, there's an offensive lineman that that the Pittsburgh Steelers might want to look at that play for Notre Dame. I will say that. There's an offensive lineman.
The Cotton Bowl, Missouri versus Ohio State. Ohio State's a 1-point favorite.
Man.
Me and Tanner both have Missouri. I have Missouri on this. Ohio State don't give a damn about this. They've got people opting out, transferring out. They don't give a shit. Give me Missouri. They're playing great.
Man, Ryan Day up here damn near crying because the daggone next the future wide receiver. He's very glad he signed. Come on, Ryan Day. You got to have some sack. Otherwise, they're gonna fire Ryan Day. Next year, once he don't beat Michigan again, and like he done lost to the crying black coach again, like they're gonna fire Ryan Day. Okay, they are, but because after the Missouri, this is a bigger game. This is a game from Missouri. It means much more to them. Like they ain't had nobody leave. They felt like the LSU game they should have won about 3 months ago. Missouri's a good team, man. I think this is a close game, man. Give me Missouri.
Okay, so we're all 3 on Missouri. The Peach Bowl, Ole Miss versus Penn State. Penn State -4. Penn State 4-point favorites. Me and Tanner taking Penn State. I'm going against Ole Miss in this one, man. The Big Ten just gonna be bully ball.
I don't know with Lane because Lane. I seen the presser today, man, but I really couldn't tap into it with Lane. Has he losing players already?
I think there's some players that are opting out to play.
Damn, man, Lane drained. I'm gonna have to go with Penn State then.
Yeah, I think that's true. The Orange Bowl, Georgia 17-point favorites against Florida State. Man, me and Tanner are both on Georgia. I think you'll probably be as well. Florida State ain't going to have no players give a damn about this game.
Yeah,
Florida, Georgia doesn't either, but.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate. I'm not even gonna say for Georgia, because Georgia didn't really schedule anybody. So for them to like cry about Kirby Smart after you lose to Alabama, to say that you deserve something that you don't, you know what I'm saying? Your consolatory prize is to play the undefeated team that got screwed over. But like hell, they got people leaving. So on a neutral field, if everybody was playing, if Jordan Pratt was playing, man, I'd love this game. Like, man, that 17-point spread probably wouldn't be 17 points, man. But
It'd be like 8.
Georgia's got a little bit thicker line of, you know what I'm saying, the reserves. And like it still would have been a challenging game for FSU if they had all their guns, you know what I'm saying, going for them. So, but like, nah, man, this game kind of speaks to Georgia. They might even make you know what I'm saying, they might send a message out there. So I got
Fiesta Bowl, Liberty versus Oregon. Oregon 17-point favorites.
I'm fair, man. It's one of my favorite teams to watch the whole college season. Liberty's a fun team. They like to zip it. They kind of, they ain't as good as a Boise State Smurf turf, man, from back in the day, but they are a fun team. But like, no, man, Oregon should zip these dudes up, man. It won't even be close, bro. 45-24.
Yeah, me and Tanner are also on Oregon there in that game. All right, college football semifinals. Number 4, Alabama versus number 1, Michigan. Michigan, 1.5-point favorites. Tanner is taking Alabama. I am taking Alabama. John.
I'm taking Captain Comeback and Jim Harbaugh, man. He didn't go through all this sign stealing and lying and finagling and potentially getting a $125 million contract from Michigan, or potentially getting another $150 million contract from Dallas Cowboys, or whoever else is going to fire their coach come Black Monday once the season's over. No, man, give me Michigan.
Tanner's sick, but he's watching the show. His tweet was, or post, I don't give a piss about nothing but the Tide. That's Willie. That's Willie there, our Alabama guy. He don't give a piss about nothing but the Tide. But no, man, Alabama, man, like I said, that stat line I used earlier. Nick Saban, bro, I said they make it, they're gonna win it, and I just see it. I'm not betting against them again. I can't. I'm sorry. Michigan's a great story, but SEC football is a little bit different from Big Ten. The other college football semi, John, number 3, Texas, 4-point favorites against number 2, Washington. Tanner is taking Washington. I am taking Texas. You're the split vote. Who are you going with?
I have to go with Texas, man. They're the stronger team. They forced them from the season. They forced themselves to fire. They played. They went on the road. They lost. The only long game they lost was to a rival team, man. They beat Alabama. You have, like I said, I can't remember. There's another team. There's some other teams that I'm forgetting in between. They won the Big 12. Right. So like, no, man, I like Texas to get to the national championship game. Give me Texas.
Okay. We will have these posted here shortly, just because we have some games that are out to start tonight. John, as for the national championship, next week's show, we'll have Tanner on. We'll have him on for 5-10 minutes. We'll talk college football itself, and then we'll have our picks, because we still have a whole nother week before the national championship game. So we'll be fine there. I'm looking forward to it, John. We've got a lot going on here. You know, I wish we could have Blog Talk with some callers tonight, but their system is down, and I've been ripping them lately. So it's unfortunate on that note, but it's great to be back. You know, we've got Pacers, we got Purdue, we've got IU, Indiana State's playing well. We've had the drama. You've going after Florida State. You've got me going with Joe Flacco. Who was it? There was somebody else I was texting with you. I've been going at it with on Twitter. I said who did I say? Let me go back real quick.
You got blocked. Brandon Reed got blocked by Josina Anderson.
Yeah. Stay woke. Kevin Durant. The whole Kevin Durant thing. The Phoenix Suns fans are not happy with Kevin Durant. Let me read some of these. I don't generally understand why anyone, including myself, this is a person on there, that Suns fans should have any positive feelings toward KD whatsoever. Fuck this vulture. Came in, blew a very good team up 1 year removed from the NBA Finals so he can fill his insecurities, never having accomplished anything without hopping onto a proven championship team post him. This is the worse than the fate of Marion, Nash, and Amari years because this roster was young and could have competed for 10 years. Now it's a bunch of recycled garbage and 3 hero ball all-stars. Last one. This reads to me like Daddy doesn't want us anymore. KD is a clown. Let's recap. He failed at playing Nets fantasy general manager super team builder to fulfill his insecurities from riding Golden State's coattails. B, he forced his way out of a 65-win team by demanding a trade to come over here over and over. C, he lost. D, he gutted the roster in the offseason playing fantasy GM with Booker. Then he lost more. Now he's pouting that they continue to lose. The entire team's turning on each other and crying in the media. The fans hate this team and give the guys we trade for KD emotional standing ovation when they come back. What's next? There's trouble in Phoenix.
Send Durant. Does he have a no trade clause? I think he does, man. But like
his only chance to win a title is to go either to Miami or to the Celtics. That's the only two.
I don't think Boston's not going to. Boston is set with their team right now. If we can send Kevin Durant, send him to Detroit, man. Maybe he can get that team to win a couple games.
Yeah, please send him to Detroit. Please. His soft ass is on Twitter all the time blocking people too, so he'll probably be blocking me here soon. I can't wait. But yeah, Josina Anderson, not sure why she blocked me. Probably some soft ass stuff. I forget what I was talking about that she may have chimed in on. I don't remember what it was, but so is the world, John. But no, we'll cover everything. Appreciate everybody hopping on with us tonight. Even though it wasn't on Blog Talk, but still we had great interactions here on StreamYard. We'll continue to do so. John, thank our sponsors, Scott K. Nichols, State Farm Insurance, Maverick Custom Motorsports, going into the new year. We may hop on another StreamYard before next week's show to cover some action if we need to. We'll see there. But, John, I don't have anything else, my man, if you want to take us out.
Man, you wrapped it up, man, real swell, man. Real swell, man. I just want to say Happy New Year to everybody, man. Do not be a distracted driver. Don't be texting and driving or watching movies or anything like that. Definitely don't be drinking and driving.
Right.
As we get into this new year and this holiday, you know what I'm saying, this weekend and whatnot. But, like, no, man, great interaction. Great for chiming in with D-Cot. You know what I'm saying? He loves his Pacers. He loves, you know what I'm saying? And I love when he comes here and talks about Alabama, man. I'm going to reach out to Reggie, you know what I'm saying, because he lost his grandmother. RIP. It's hard losing anybody, you know what I'm saying, whether they 3 or 103. And during this time, man, you know what I'm saying, Reggie's a friend of the program, so I'm going to make sure we reach out to him as well, man. If you're a friend of Reggie's, reach out to him as well. As I know everybody, a lot of people kind of listen to the show as well, man. Outside of that, Brandon Reeve hit the nail on the head, man. Thanks to our sponsors, Scott K. Nichols, State Farm Insurance. Thanks to our sponsors, Maverick Custom Motorsports, man. We got some more bigger and better things kind of coming down the pipeline in 2024. And I can't wait to share them with y'all, man. Crossroads Sports, man. Thanks, everybody, for watching.